what's going on with the people. More than a dozen Broward deputies charged with PPP loan fraud. Some people think that mess is going to go away. I don't think it is. They're going to pop up on you and say, surprise, we here to let you know you ain't going to get away with stealing our money. Who thinks that you're going to steal the government's money and they just going to let that go? You saw the woman that won the $3,000 and she thought she was in the money. And then here come the government. We taking it back, okay? So anybody that did a PPP loan, damn well it was fraudulent. Just because they ain't got you yet, don't mean they not, okay? But let's hear what's going on here. Shout out to my girl, she said, no, it's not in the DMV. Okay, thank you. Shout out to Amanaz for the support. I appreciate you. Come on, what's going on over here?
We are now hearing from Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney after 17 deputies have been arrested and charged with fraud. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with this developing story. Roy.
Nicole, and we have learned that nearly 100 BSO employees did apply for the PPP loans. And of the 100, 17 of them are now facing federal charges. Well, as you mentioned today, we did get a chance to speak with Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney about these allegations. And he says if his employees were involved in this type of criminal activity, they do not deserve to be working in the law enforcement profession.
Oh, woo, child. Let me tell y'all something. All right. All right. I got a story to tell. Anyway, who sings that? Biggie. Shout out to Biggie Smalls. So there was a lot of information that was coming through when COVID, C-19 first started, child. Y'all already know, you was here, you witnessed this, all right? First thing they said was, stay home. Woo! We in the money. I can stay my ass home and I can keep working. Praise the Lord, okay? Then they start talking about all these things you could do to go get money, all right? And I always have some sort of other business going on, okay? So I had a different business going on, right? So when they came out with this, you got a business, you can get a loan, I went and looked at it. I told everybody I knew about it, but I was like, you know what? Just give me this $1,000, okay? I don't need all this $50 million, $55,000, okay? Let me go ahead and take this $1,000. It was free, quote unquote free, okay? So they said, you don't have to pay this back, take this money. I was happy as a pig, and you know what, all right? Send it out to all the people that I knew that did stuff that I did, okay? And they went and they applied for it, and that was it. That's all. Fast forward to about 7 months later, my job, they said, child, did you take a PPP loan? My heart sank, y'all. I was scared to death. I'm like, what the F, y'all? I said, what the F is going on right now? They said, oh, yeah, because the government must be running socials, okay? And they found out that you work here, okay? Now, it's not the fact that I had another job, because you can have another job as long as it's not in the same field. That's not the issue. The issue is that the government said, oh, no, you're going to tell us. Now, mind you, I work for a Fortune 500, so I'm pretty sure they're running them first. They clearly running them first because they're easy to get to, right? So they said, we're going to need you to provide proof that you actually had a business. Thank God for the business license, child. Thank God for the business license, child. Here you go. Here you go. And they said, okay, you good. Child, that was for the $1,000 that they said was free. So if people was out here thinking, oh, they never going to come get me. Oh, they never going to come find me. How they going to find me? Child, they going to find you. Child, they going to find you. Okay? It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow, but trust me when I tell you, they're going to find you, especially if they're working their way through all the Fortune 500 companies, which they probably done. So you're a policeman. You are the oppressor. And you think that they not going to come and run you? You think as the oppressor, they not going to come and run your ass? Child, I hope you got a business license.
Did you believe you were receiving these loans legitimately? 17 members of the Broward...
Don't hide your face now. Tell us all about it.
17 members of the Broward Sheriff's Office, which include both BSO deputies and detention deputies, released from the federal courthouse in Fort Lauderdale after being indicted on charges that include wire fraud after federal investigators said they fraudulently applied for and received funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP loans.
All ninjas? All ninjas? I know you effing lying. You trying to tell me that ninjas went out here and applied for PPP loans and took the money and they ain't had no business, and now they being indicted? Where Black Lives Matter? They about to come through and talk about that this is racism, child. Can I just say, okay, when I took that loan, this is part of the reason that I brought it up. I read the shit. Okay, I read the shit. I read it from top to effing bottom, and even when they reached out to me, I was still scared because of the fact that they just reached out to me. Okay, and that was people internally where I worked. But I'm just saying, did they not read this? It specifically said you had to have a business prior to, I forget the date exactly, in place, not after 3/20/20, I believe the date was. Not after 3/20/20. It was sometime before 3/20/2020. Okay? So that was the determining factor right there. Did you have a business? Did you have something in place? How would I be able to prove this? Oh yeah, I can prove it because I had one. So did we not read? Did we not read when we were taking this? I know people is just like, oh, they're not gonna find me. And I know lots of people took it, y'all. I know plenty of people, regardless of race. Don't come for me, okay? I am Black, so I'm talking about Blacks, coloreds, Negroes, Black and brown, okay? Because when articles like the Grio just came out and say we ain't gonna be worth nothing, do you think maybe this could be the reason why? You think this could be one of the reasons why? So then if they go to jail, the white social justice person is going to come through and say, that's racist. Oh my God, that's not right. That's not fair. They didn't do anything wrong. Oh my God, you can afford it. Are we ever going to have any standards up in here? Are we ever going to have any rules to follow around here? All right. I'm just saying. Now I know somebody going to say, what about all the ones that were forgiven for all those companies? Okay, y'all, the difference is, whether you like it or not, those companies employ many people at the end of the day. They employ a lot of damn people. Yeah, I'm not saying that none of them people didn't do anything wrong, but most of them employ many people. How many people do you think these people employ that are here on the screen? Nobody, because they lying about it. Allegedly. But, you know, people only see race. Oh, my God, they Black. It's not right. It's racist. White supremacy, discrimination, and racism. Of course. I just expect to hear that at some point.
Bonds were set. They're being released. Nobody, as far as I know, is being detained. And we'll take it from there. We'll be back in court.
Attorney Brian Silber represents 3 of the defendants, some of whom have either been suspended or placed on leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
I can't comment on the nature of the case.
While the charging documents do not allege that any of the defendants...
Let me say something first. So they're about to be put on leave, right? So if it's unpaid failure, unpaid leave, I mean, because this trial could not come up for 2-3 years. Okay, what you gonna do for 2 to 3 years, first of all? Second of all, if you do get paid and then you are found guilty, guess what? You have to pay that money back. But what the hell do I know, child? What the hell do I know?
Documents do not allege that any of the defendants committed the charged offenses in the course of their official duties. This does not in any way diminish the seriousness of what the defendants are alleged to have done here.
Sheriff Gregory Toney said he first learned of the crimes in November of 2021, prompting him to investigate all 5,500 of his employees, including himself and other top brass.
Oh, well, thank you for going ahead and Anton Daniel says, calling yourself in front of the congregation. Shout out to you for that, sir.
Of the 17 indicted, 7 BSO deputies and 1 sergeant.
Oh, look at that. You happy? There's some other people that ain't black. Everybody happy? Not y'all. Everybody happy? All right.
In law enforcement and 8 detention deputies and 1 sergeant in corrections.
I hate to see that, knowing some of the individuals and seeing the names on that list that's being indicted, some of them were good officers, but you're only as good as the last act and conduct that you execute.
We learned the defendants involved received tens of thousands of dollars, and while the investigation has proved that some of whom were investigated did have legitimate businesses, at the very least, the 17 now facing federal charges allegedly did not.
If you're going to be
So some people actually did have businesses. Shout out to them. They probably went through the same scare as I did when they said, hey girl, we here to ask you some questions, child. Okay. So then they did have businesses, and guess what? They must have read, and they say, here's my business license. They said, all right, you all good in the hood. Okay. But the rest of them was like, I can take it. I can do what I want. White people do it. White people do it. Yes, I'm talking about you Negroes again, because I'm Negro. All right. I'm just saying. Shout out to my friend Team Peterson. Thank you so much for the Cash App. He says, for the content. Thank you so much, hon. I appreciate you. Thank you all.
We do not care